Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of SLP's Wine and Cheese. I'm Maria.
I'm Deb.
And here's our podcast.
For the realistic SLP.
who like to agree to disagree.
That's right.
That's right. I did not plan that. You know, it just happens. Like life.
Right. We do agree to disagree.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree that Frankie is right there, you know, just walking around, checking me out. Yeah. Now that he's one, you know, he's just getting old on us, you know, doing things dogs do.
I know. He's not a little puppy anymore. I find myself looking at videos and pictures of him being super little and getting sad.
Aww.
But I still like him a lot now that he's a big dog.
Good. You should, as he is your dog.
Yeah, I'll keep him.
Good. You know what I'm going to keep? This wine.
Wow. And you have your Maria glass.
I do. I have my Maria glass. So I'm having a Cabernet Sauvignon. I don't know if I'm saying that the right way. I'm actually very self-conscious when I say that. I'm not sure if...
It sounded good.
Okay, I'm just going to go with it then. And I paired it with Greek feta because that's what I have in my fridge.
Sweet.
So to everyone listening, it's a snow day today, even though when this airs, it'll maybe be in the spring. You don't know with New York weather. So.
Wait, did you have a snow day today?
I didn't, meaning like you and I have like a snow day.
Right, yeah. So Maria's home in her home, and I'm home in my home, and we're Zooming.
Yes, that's right.
That's what we're doing. We're using Zoom.
Yeah.
Zoom is not a sponsor, but if they
right.
want to be, we should reach out.
Yes, they should be after this episode.
Yeah. So I'm at my house, and I'm actually drinking Plavak Bora Dalmatia. It's Croatian wine.
I was going to say, this sounds Croatian.
Yeah, it's friendly and inviting, just like the Dalmatian coast. Bora Plavak is a fresh aromatic wine from the cooler inland vineyard locations of the peninsula. It's medium-bodied with fruity and bright aromas of blackcurrant and cherry, and it's best enjoyed slightly chilled with young cheeses and casual fare. So I don't have it slightly chilled. I didn't read this before I had it.
That's a valuable lesson. You know, read instructions before.
Right.
Yes.
Not often does wine come with instructions, though, so how was I to know?
That's true. And, you know, that's a little pretentious, like just assuming we all know how to drink this wine. Like, how was I supposed to know it's supposed to be chilled?
Exactly.
Like, we're learning this because we have a podcast about wine.
And it's a red wine, which is a faux pas, generally, if you chill it. People are like, what are you, trash?
Does this come in a box as well?
Exactly.
Like maybe it does. It's better for the environment this way.
And I paired my wine with cranberry and macadamia cream cheese on a cracker. You
take the cake for the fancier wine and cheese.
Yeah. Mike actually bought me cheese, and I didn't have the heart to tell him I already bought this, so now I have cheese for the next episode.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
He's thoughtful. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah,
we like him today. I'm just kidding.
He's going to get me a dresser in the snow right now, so I'll keep him too. I'll keep Frank.
Wow.
I'll keep Mike.
Good. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to hear it. So on this episode now, we want to talk about, I feel like, a recurring theme between Deb and I that, you know, and just people in general, agreeing to disagree and just difference in opinions. Something that's definitely inevitable. It's important to get along with people, but also feel free to discuss with those around you, right?
Right, yeah.
Everyone is different, and that's what makes life interesting, that we're all different. Because if we were all the same, life would be just so boring.
Exactly.
That's what I think. What about you? What do you think about thinking about that?
I agree that it's important I think it's just important to feel free to disagree. Like, I don't like the idea of being a people pleaser.
Yes, agreed.
And so I just but then also don't go disagreeing just for the sake of disagreeing, because that's just obnoxious. But, you want to demonstrate virtue in your agreeability.
Agreed. It just feels like natural to say that word. But I feel like sometimes I will have a tendency to be a people pleaser, like, oh, like they want me to do this, like, and then I have to really like stop and like be aware of like, is that what I really want to do? A, B,
Right.
is that the best decision? Like even someone today was like, oh, don't do that. You're just going to drive yourself crazy.
Right.
So I did it anyway. And she was right. I did drive myself crazy by like overdoing something because that's just who I
Right.
am. But it's like, all right, but now I'm like, that'll make me more aware. Like I am that type of person who kind of like drives myself crazy. Like I make things hard when they shouldn't be, but like let me kind of like figure that out,
Right. And I
So,
feel like something that might be like a negative personality trait of mine is that like I really don't like the feeling of anyone having too much like power or control over me. So I might like intentionally rebel,
right.
intentionally do the opposite, or like not agree on purpose just because I feel controlled.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's funny. We both have different ways of looking at it.
Yeah.
I just look at it as like, which one do I want to do? Like, even if I know I'm being like overbearing to myself, like I just got to do it anyway because that's like in a weird way. That's like me being true to myself, and like
Right.
and let me deal with the consequences after. Like let it be my decision, even if it's a bad decision. Even if someone has your back and they're like just trying to help you out, like let it be my bad decision. Like
Right, yeah. And I try to like stand by the things that I decide because I mean like I decided it, so I must have wanted that thing at some point.
right. But even if the consequences like they ended up being right.
Right, yeah. I'm trying to plug in my charger right here, so I'm struggling to pay attention. Okay.
Yeah, well, I could just keep talking. Let's move on. You want to move on to different controversial quote unquote topics?
Well, yeah. I mean, we have a whole list of things that people might agree or disagree with. So do you want to take the evens or the odds?
Well, you know what? It says list from A to Z. So,
Oh, yeah, right. I
I
forgot.
like that. We're going to go from A all the way to Z.
Okay, great.
I'll go with A since you're busy.
Okay,
All is fair in love and war. So, I got to be honest. I don't really quite know what that means. Does that mean like when you're like in a relationship and you could just like curse at the person and just like throw jabs at them? Like, I don't think that's right. And I
right.
don't think guerrilla warfare is right. Like the GUERILLA one, like the one you learned about like in high school.
Right, yes.
I think that's just messed up. So I disagree. I don't think I think there has to be like some rules even in love and war.
Right. I guess I can agree that like love and war have exceptions to traditional standards in life. But no, I don't think all is fair in love and war.
Yeah, those words like all, that's a big word for me.
Yeah, not all.
Yeah.
Sometimes Mike is like, will you love me no matter what? And I'm like, no. I will not.
Good for you. I like that.
So the next one is playing a game is only fun if you win.
Ooh, that's so funny. That came up today at work. Not true.
Yeah,
it's about the journey, not the destination, right?
Right. Yeah. And I used to be like a really competitive game player, and now I'm not. And I actually don't really like when somebody is like so obsessed with winning.
Right. I'm not obsessed with winning, but I prefer to win. But if I don't, I mean that is the end result of the game, right? There has to be a winner and a loser.
Right. Yes.
But I have to remind myself that life is not a game, though.
Right.
There's no winner or loser in life. So if we're specifically talking about like a sport or a game, like, yeah, I'm going to like show my competitive side.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
The next one is swimming in the ocean is better than swimming in a pool.
I disagree with this.
Really?
Because I agree. I love swimming in the ocean in other countries in the Caribbean and maybe Florida, but the Jersey Shore will kill you.
But maybe it's not the ocean, Deb. I don't think Deb is specifically speaking about the
I
ocean.
have seen several. Oh, well, not yes. Oh, I thought you meant like I just can't swim in the ocean. But
No, no.
no, in general, the whole place will kill you. But
But,
yeah, like
no, but nothing but love for Jersey people. The shore is different. The shore is its own entity.
right, right. But what I'm saying is that I have been knocked out by a wave and feared for my life on more than one occasion. And then, so therefore, if we were to generalize the statement, I disagree because pools are very much safer from my perspective. Like no sharks, no waves. So yeah.
You
But
know
when I
what?
was in Croatia, that was the best water I ever swam in.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. I'm like a beach snob, like, you know, summers in Greece as a kid. I know what you're gonna say, but I have family there. But yeah, you keep chewing on the fancy cheese, that fancy cheese that your man bought you, all right? Like,
I got this one.
oh, okay, good. But I am a bit of a beach snob, or I just really appreciate nature and the beach. But like I have to say, the beach is better. It's natural. I really do believe it's soothing. Like I've had some of my best like thoughts just relaxing at a beach. Like it's therapeutic. It's a workout. It's everything. It's like mind, body, soul connection.
Right. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's the beach you're always swimming at. But some people, they have family in Seaside Heights, not in Greece.
Right, agreed. But maybe that whole experience of going to the beach and making sandcastles and not going in the water is still a more fun experience than a pool. It's just because it's more natural. I like the natural part.
Mm.
We can agree to disagree on
We can
that.
agree to disagree, yeah. Because I also think lots
cheers.
of beaches are man-made, right? Cheers.
Cheers. In Dubai. I mean, I'm not going there.
um,
Yet.
okay, the next one is you teach people how to treat you. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree with that.
Me too.
Yes. What you allow will continue. So I think it goes along with being a people pleaser. Like, so in a way you're thinking to yourself, like, oh, okay, you know, I don't want to do this, but let me do it anyway, or something along those lines. But that's like you're allowing that person to kind of have that control over you, kind of like what you said.
Right, yeah, and if you don't do anything about it, it's just going to continue.
Yeah.
And I like work hard to be a good listener for my friends, but when I like repeatedly hear the same patterns, I'm like, well, aren't we experiencing like the same patterns here? Like over and over again, you're stating that like people are not doing things fairly to you.
Right.
Yeah. So I do think that you teach people how to treat you.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then what you allow will continue. So
yeah. Now you're on to E.
yeah, I am. Women should be allowed to go topless in public. Well, going back to the beach, I feel like it's okay to go topless at the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, who wants tan lines? You know? That's what I think.
Okay.
But, no, I feel like no. I feel like that's like a woman's like, you know, like this is your body and it's like you should cover it if you want. But if you want to be topless, like who am I to stop you?
Right.
But,
it says should be allowed. It doesn't say like women should walk around topless, like they'll be cold. But I think should be allowed. I think, yeah, I'm going for it because men can walk around topless for no reason, and it's only because like the entertainment industry has sexualized the nipple, and therefore like women, they like, so their boobs have been sexualized, so that's why like they're not allowed to walk around topless, and like men are just like, I don't know what
I feel like any woman who's breastfeeding are like probably like my boobs are sexualized. That's not how they feel to me. Like,
well, they're a sense of they're a source of nourishment, and that's what like the boob should be associated with. But right. I think it's just over sexualized, and that's why people are like, oh, you have to cover up, otherwise like all the guys will be hard when they see you. No one will focus.
Right. Well, Well, you know what? I maybe as women who are I maybe believe this. Maybe I don't know. I don't know yet. The more smarter species, maybe the more
Yeah.
evolved species, maybe we have to take the higher road and like cover up, not because of us, but just for better to better mankind. So.
I mean, I have dreams about being naked, and it's not something
Oh,
that I want to still happen. Like in my
yeah.
dreams, I'm like, "Where's my shirt?" So,
Right.
I'm not saying I want to walk around topless, and I think lots of people would be like, "Whoa,"
Right.
if I did. But I'm just saying, like, who did it? Bruce Willis and Demi Moore's daughter was like walking around New York topless because she was just trying to prove a point about the nipple being sexualized. And I was like,
Right.
"Go for it."
Yes.
Fine.
I like that you said that. Yeah, it's like I don't want myself to do that. Like I don't want to do that, but like if I see someone doing that, I did see someone doing that at the Staten Island Ferry, and I was
Topless?
just like, yeah, I was just like, what's happening? What's
Did she
going
have
on? And
paint
I'm
on
like,
her top?
what?
Paint on herself?
No.
Oh.
Yes, she was just, and I'm just like, she must be cold. I think she's gonna get sick, and I just feel like there might be better, safer ways to state your opinion.
Right.
So, I don't know. For argument's sake, maybe I have to say disagree.
Yeah. Okay.
You
All right.
know?
There we go. We're supposed to keep track of how many we agree and disagree with, but that's okay.
Okay,
Let's
well,
just keep going.
that's
The next
it's not a game, Deb, because right? It's not,
So the next one is when people succeed, it is because of hard work. Luck has nothing to do with success. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree halfway.
Okay.
Sometimes I think success comes from people who don't give up and who set themselves up for success. Like know what works for you, know what doesn't. But also like a lot of times when you talk to successful people or listen to them, and they're like, I was really lucky, so like I think sometimes luck plays into it, but also like I believe in like manifesting. Like if you're confident and you keep motivating yourself, like it's gonna come to you, like that positivity will come to you. So like maybe you call it luck, or maybe you just call it like, yeah, you were working for it and now it came looking like luck, but really it's like all your hard work just kind of like finally worked out for you.
I don't know. I think luck gets a lot of dumb people a lot of ways, so I disagree with that. I think a
Okay.
lot of people get lucky.
Okay.
I think a lot of people work hard and they're kind of like stuck in places where it's hard to like. I'm not saying it's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that like luck has a lot to do with success, but I'm not saying it's like gonna make or break you. But I just think a lot of people get lucky.
Yeah. Is one of them like Mike Tyson actually?
Well, I don't know. Didn't he work? I have no idea.
Okay.
Tyson.
Food for thought, Mike Tyson. I was listening to a podcast he was on and he kept saying how lucky he was. So I mean he wasn't really saying
Probably lucky that he didn't ever die from being hit in the head so many times.
yes, and from the drug abuse, which he openly admits to. So that's okay. I don't know whose turn it is, but I'll just go. The decisions that make quickly are always wrong. The decisions that people make quickly are always wrong. I hate that word always, so I'm going to disagree. Sometimes you got to make a decision quickly. Like, look, there's a truck coming for me. Run. Good decision.
Yes, yeah. I disagree with that because I make most of my decisions very quickly and I don't like to like think about things for too long, so I disagree with that.
How come? How come you don't like to think about? Because I'm the opposite, so.
Because I'm just trying to be like productive and move on to the next thing. Like Mike and I bought a mattress and I swear he thought about it like for so long and I'm just like, I don't care. Whatever we get will be what we have and we will be used to it after a day and that'll be our new destiny. Like that will be what we have regardless of your thought process. So but that's fine. He made a decision. I decided right away I wanted the purple mattress. And then he said that he weighed every decision and I will be surprised. So we'll see.
Did you get the purple mattress?
I don't know. It didn't come yet, but I'm pretty confident that's a no.
So after all that, you still didn't get your way.
Exactly. I'm like, I decided it didn't matter, so I don't care. Like, whatever it is, it is. I'm good
Ah,
with it.
you let him get that one. Damn.
Because he is like one of those like obsessive thinkers and I am not. And I know that it won't impact me to the level like I'm sure he's like weighed the costs and stuff and I don't even care.
Yeah, me and Mike have a lot in common. Anyway.
Yeah. The next is the government should pay for post-secondary education. Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree. I feel like taxes are just going to be so high, and they're already high, and there's so many other issues happening, like poverty and crime, and it's like and not everyone is meant to go to college, and that's fine. Like, we don't all have to go. There's so many jobs out there that we
Right.
need, like
I don't know
trades.
if I don't agree with this because it's like over like because it's saying all post-secondary education.
Yeah,
I do think that like our job should have like more like a better loan forgiveness or like a very more confident system just because it's like strange to provide a like beneficial and necessary service and yet you have to pay to learn how to do it and then you have to dedicate the rest of your life serving other people and then you have to pay for that. Like so
yeah,
that's what I think is insane. It's like I'm constantly pulled in 75 directions. Everything I'm doing is due to like the legality of the situation. Yet so I have to like serve myself. All my energy goes to this and then I still have to like pay financially too. So I just think that is not really that doesn't make sense to me. But I don't think that like the government should pay for somebody's like theater degree or like something like that.
right,
Yeah.
right. Well, I'm gonna throw one of our past lines at you, but what you allow will continue. If you feel like you keep getting pulled, maybe you need to start saying no to some people.
Well, I definitely do, but there are things I can't say no to. Like I
Okay,
have to
like
do
session notes.
like all of the paperwork. And like session
Right,
notes are not just it, but like the whole session notes process is what is
right.
problematic to me. It's not like I don't think SLP should take session notes. I do think you should, but
Yeah,
like it's a struggle to do it when you're seeing kids back to back to back to back. The days that I'm the most caught up on my session notes are the ones when I'm the least patient and the most irritable when I'm like interrupted during my note taking time or like trying to submit something and someone's trying to talk to me. Meanwhile, like the days that I'm a little bit more flexible with it and I like make up them, I do them later. Yeah, halfway point. Those are
halfway.
the days when I'm like more approachable and more agreeable and like just a better person. Like I feel I've been so caught up with my notes lately. I'm exhausted. I can't stand anyone. I don't want anyone asking me questions.
But you do have your notes, girl. So
And
hey,
that's what I think is stupid. I don't
right.
think that I'm doing as great of a job as I usually am. But whatever.
Well, I think that's just how it goes in life in general. Like you subtract from this, but it adds to that, but that taken away from that adds to that. It's constantly working on balance.
Yeah, but I think that this job has too many unrealistic expectations because it is a female dominated field. And in general, women are more agreeable to doing unreasonable things like
That
that. And men demand more in the workforce and women accept more.
that is actually proven in studies. So I'm gonna have to agree with that.
Yeah.
You
All
got to
right.
keep it EDP.
So this is our halfway point, and we would like to let everyone know that this episode of SLP's Wine and Cheese, we hope to know whether or not you disagree or agree with the things that we're saying. But this episode is brought to you by Speech Therapy PD. It's a 100% SLP-owned website. Speech Therapy PD specializes in practical, engaging, evidence-based video and audio courses. There are more than 600 hours of courses on demand. They have weekly live and interactive courses and pod courses, and they offer unlimited plans starting at only $89 a year. You can get $10 off with the coupon code WINE, W-I-N-E. So enter WINE at checkout when you go to speechtherapypd.com.
Awesome. Enter wine. That's our code.
Yeah.
So don't forget to also check us out on Instagram at SLP's Wine and Cheese Pod. Deb and I are in are tagged in those. And if you haven't left us a review on iTunes, please do that. We would greatly appreciate it. And also, when you check out our Instagram, we have our Patreon link. So check that out. I uploaded some fun stuff, and yeah, I have another printable I'm going to post too on Friday. So some exciting stuff on there. So keep checking that out, where we have exclusive interviews and printables only for our patrons.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
I'm chewing, so I think I was supposed to start talking, but
that's okay.
Follow us on Instagram.
Right, yes. So let's go back. So we just talked about should the government pay for post-secondary education? Deb and I kind of agreed that no, they shouldn't. The other one, this is a hot topic. So abortion should be safe, rare, and accessible. What do you mean by rare? Deb wrote these.
Yeah, I wrote that.
I'm working through these questions.
So I agree
want her to get her
That's why I wrote it. It shouldn't be like a second form of birth control. It should be
of course. Yes.
It shouldn't be something that's like used frequently, but it definitely should be safe and accessible.
Of course.
So I agree with that.
I agree with that too.
Mm-hmm.
Just in terms of like a woman's health and like baby's health, like I just think that it should be safe and
accessible and rare.
And I think it should be a woman's right as well. I'm going to touch on those touchy topics, you know?
Right. There's no laws about men's bodies, so.
Oh, snap.
So do you, okay, this is the next one. You do what you do because you choose to. There is no one else to blame. Do you agree or disagree?
Oh. Well, it's interesting. I feel like I'm overanalyzing these questions, you know? But I like that I'm overanalyzing them. So I think that you do what you do because you choose to, yes. Because even when people are like, I have no choice, I have to do this. And it's like, you actually don't. You hate your job, you don't have to keep going.
Right, yeah.
You know, like I didn't say quit your job and move to like a foreign country unless that's what it is you want. Then you can apply. Like you could apply and ask for a transfer. You can switch fields. So like I can't feel bad for people who are like, what are you gonna do? But I do think that you could sometimes blame other people, but you can't blame yourself for your reaction. That you're the only one who can control your reactions. So it's like a hard one. I don't know if I agree or disagree.
So I say this often to people all the time. There's only one situation in which I disagree with this, but I do think it's very important for people to take personal responsibility and be accountable for their actions. And I tell the kids all the time, they're like, he made me laugh. And I'm like, you do what you do because you choose to. There's no one else to blame. And they're like, he's making me. And I'm like, no. But there are instances of manipulation in which like people do things and they look back in their past and they're like, I can't believe that I let somebody do that. So I can understand like in that situation where like you're manipulated, but then that would be like the only circumstance in which I'd say I disagree.
Yeah. So it's like
part, like you do what you do because you choose to.
I feel like that's also a nice tongue twister. You do what you do because you choose to. I feel like you could also like work on that as a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Like tongue tip sounds in that.
What are we on, K?
I believe so.
Okay.
Do what you do because you choose to. There are no mistakes in life, only lessons we need to master. This is very interesting. This is very thought-provoking.
I do think there are a lot of mistakes in life. I disagree. This is like a self-serving rationalization. So I disagree with that.
This is Deb. She wanted the purple mattress.
I do want that purple mattress. I don't think I'm getting it though.
Oh, don't be negative.
But I won't be disappointed. I'll be happy with whatever I get. I'm sure he made a good decision.
Gotcha. Totally kidding there. But I don't know how I feel. The only lesson. I guess that's true. I don't know. That's a hard one.
You always say there's no regrets in life.
I know. I was just going to say that. That's so funny. There are no regrets in life because, everything when you look backwards, you're like, I shouldn't have done that. But like, that's not how you live life. You live life like forward and then you look back and you're like, I shouldn't have done that. Now I know I could just fix it. So yeah, I guess I agree. Yeah, only lessons to be learned, to master.
Okay, and then the next one is forgiveness is a gift you give yourself.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, I agree too. Anyone who's holding on to a grudge, just let that go. It's
I
just
know it's
longer
hard,
than it
though.
is. I know. I feel like I went through like my early 20s were like filled with angst. Um,
Uh-huh.
and it didn't do anything for me. So just you got to let it go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very, very true. I like this quote, and I feel like it's like a hard one though. It's like, because like I heard this one quote, I always think about this just to add to the quotes of today. Holding on to anger is having poison and expecting the other person to drink it.
Hmm.
Like, so like when you're mad at someone else, even if it's not to your or even if you're not mad at yourself, when you're mad at someone else and you're just angry about it, it's like you're not doing anything to them, you're just like hurting yourself. So like just let it go for you.
Right.
That's how I interpret it. I don't know if that's like the right way or not, but
There's like this Zen spirituality quote where it's like a whole fable, but it's like this guy did something, and then later his friend was like, "Why did you help that person? They were mean to you." And he's like, "I put that person down an hour ago, and you're still holding on to them." So it's just like, so basically I messed up the story, but the guy like carried this rich woman over a puddle, and she was like really mean to him. She was like,
oh, that's the Asatop's fable where he, right? Is it like the scorpion helped and then at the end like the scorpion kills like
oh, that's
someone?
a different one, but
That's
yeah.
a different one. Okay.
But
Yeah,
I'm always like, I put that down years ago. Like you're still holding on to it. I like to think that.
right. Well, that's why we're having these conversations, because these are difficult things to do, and I think it's important to like talk about them and think about that and have that like metacognition or that self-awareness like, hey, I am holding a grudge. That person doesn't even know I'm mad at them.
right, and they're probably not even thinking about me.
Yeah. I remember one time I was mad at you for a long time back in our college days after grad
It
school.
was about the engagement ring thing.
No, I've what engagement ring. I don't remember that, but I remember you like made fun of my pants, and I got mad, and I'm like, Deborah made fun of my jeans, and it was like turned.
What were they?
I don't know. We were in a bar in a bathroom, and you were like, you need to get jeans that are tight around your ankles because they were still like bell bottomish.
Oh.
Probably because they were from high school. Because I
So I
hoard
was
clothes.
right, and you were mad for years.
Yes, but you're also going through a tough time, tough breakup. So I think you were just like angry at everything.
Yeah.
Or you were just like, you just were looking for something like mean to say because you felt, no, I'm just saying because it was so out of character. And I was like, yo, what is Deborah's problem? Like, I'm trying to console her in the bathroom. And she's like making fun of my pants. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't talk to you for quite some time.
Angry. Yeah, that breakup, that was where my anger was. We already went back. But yeah, but maybe you also didn't need to have bell bottoms in 2011.
Yeah, you're right.
You just
Probably because why I also took it so personally as well. But look at us. We've really grown. Really. I was mad at you for like 6 months about that. And then you text me and you're like, where have you been? I'm like, well, you made fun of my pants, so I'm pretty mad at you. And you're like, why didn't you tell me sooner? And I'm like, she's right about that.
Oh, I don't even remember. Okay, I'm sorry that I did that. Past Deb is rude.
I'm sorry I got so mad about that.
Okay, the next one is what you resist persists and what you focus on expands.
Oh, that's true. That's definitely true in a speech session too. The
Right,
more I keep thinking this kid's not working for me, this kid's not he's this, they like feel that shift. I know this sounds a little like kooky for some people, but this is like my thought process, so I'm going with it. The more they feel it, the more that they're gonna just like change their behavior, and it's just like this gonna be this like downward spiral. So I really do feel like kids, especially kids, are very in tune with your emotions, but people in general, we're all humans here.
Yeah,
So what do
exactly.
you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like just I like I don't like to be too authoritarian in my speech therapy sessions, and I feel like the days where I am trying to be the most controlling, it just never works. So I don't do that anymore.
It's also not you either, and that's important, I think, to think about, like, when you're conducting your therapy sessions,
Yeah,
like, ultimately, like, and this is what I tell, like, students that come observe me, like, I can tell you as your supervisor, like, I think you should do this, but, like, you're gonna all add your own spin to it. Like, you're not gonna be
right.
like Maria clone. Like, you're gonna think maybe the way I think because I'm your supervisor. You'll see it through, like, a lens that I see it,
You're
but, like,
providing the model.
right, but ultimately you're gonna add your own personality to it, and, like, that's what
Right.
you want. Like,
And if
so
you just keep focusing on like the task at hand and the goal that you're trying to
right, of
accomplish,
course,
then
yes, of
that's what's
course.
going to be successful. Like just focus
Right.
on that. Like don't worry about who's touching who's raising their hand, who's grabbing a pencil. Like just focus on the goal.
You're right. You're right.
What are we up to now? I feel like we have to hurry up here now.
We are almost done, and we doing we're gonna do tips and tricks and a quote, which I feel like we have a ton of quotes, so maybe we'll just pick our favorite.
Okay, so the
Maybe we can
next
take this a
one
two
is
part.
guns should be illegal in the United States.
I don't know. I don't really like telling people what to do about topics I don't know that much about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I just feel like I don't think guns should be sold at, like, at Walmart. Like, hey, let me just go and
Right.
buy a gun here.
I don't
Right
think
next
we
to
need
the
machine
sugar.
guns.
What?
I don't think we need machine guns. Like
Agreed.
we don't need like automatic weapons.
Yeah.
But also like Jim Jeffries, he's a comedian, and he talks about how like Australia got rid of guns and they have like no school shootings and stuff like that.
Yes.
Um, so I don't know. I think that like we don't need to have crazy guns for sure. We
I
definitely don't.
think that's definitely a start because this is, like, such an in-depth topic, whether what way you want to look at it, like, are the amendments and all that, and the whatever right to bear arms and whatever, and that's such an old document, blah blah blah. Not blah blah blah. It's important stuff.
Right.
Sorry. But there's so much we could talk about that, and I don't really
I
want to
wonder
get
how
into
many
that.
people turned this episode off by now. We're like, no,
Why? Because we're talking about controversial topics. Are we making people nervous?
I think most people would agree that like there's no need for like automatic or semi-automatic weapons.
Yeah, so I think it's such an in-depth topic. Let's at least start with, like, the easier part of it, like, not the easier part, but the less detailed. Like, maybe they don't need, like, machine guns in Walmart. Number one.
No, that's
Yeah,
not
let's
necessary.
start
And
there.
while we're at it, we should get rid of Walmart.
Again, another loaded topic that we don't have to talk about. No pun intended for that
Right.
word.
Oh yeah, I heard that. Good.
Yeah.
Now we're on O. People are never satisfied with what they have. They will always want something more or something different.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
I agree with that.
I
I think I
agree.
agree with that.
Like, what
Unless you're
would
like, you have to be so mindful all the time to be like that appreciative. But I have I have a friend who works for like very, very wealthy people who have so much money that they don't even know what to do with it. And they're just like buying more things. The way that she describes it to me, it just sounds like they're bored. Like they're just like, what do we do with all of this money? And they just want more and more.
right? You could give them my email address and my
So you think I give
address.
them my email address if I could first?
Yeah, maybe, like, hey, here's some New York City SLPs who could use some wine.
Yeah,
Just mail it over there.
exactly. We'll appreciate your money.
Yes, we are taking donations.
Yeah, so if you're listening out there and you have some extra dollars that you're bored with, you can send them over to SLP's Wine and Cheese. We'll put them to good use.
Yes. Should we keep going all the way to Z or on O?
Do you want to do one more and then we'll end it there?
Sure. Okay. P. Reading fiction, such as novels and short stories, is more enjoyable than watching movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would say it's more enjoyable, but it's more relaxing. So maybe I'll have to disagree. But I do prefer to watch. I do prefer to read the book than watch the movie. So,
Right.
so I agree with some of that, but not all of it.
Yeah, I disagree because I love movies and books made me fall asleep.
Right. Thus my point of they're more relaxing.
Right. Okay, good. So I feel like we agreed a lot.
We did, right? It's hard to like agree with all of them 100% because they're so like multifaceted.
Yes, that's true.
Yes. What are we gonna do with the rest of them though? Should we just keep going though?
Well, I guess we did go for 4 more minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so then the next one, Q. A,
Do a person. Oh, go ahead.
a person's childhood years, the time from birth to 12 of age, are the most important years of a person's life. Do you agree or disagree?
No, I think your whole life is the most important part of your life.
Yeah. I think that those years do shape you for the rest of your life, like in terms of like who you are and like who you turn into and what you learn from. I used to feel like I wasn't the happiest kid, and I used to think like, oh, people always say you're a kid, you should enjoy yourself, like this is the best time of your life. And I used to think, oh my goodness, if this is the best time of my life, like I don't have anything to look forward to.
Oh.
And now I'm like so much happier than I was when I was a kid. So it's definitely not the best time in your life, but it certainly is an important time because you also spend so much time with yourself as a kid.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
man.
so you learn about who you are in solitude, maybe, or at least I did.
I agree. That's why I like the beach.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to do a tip or trick? Maybe it could be something inspired by one of these quotes.
Yeah, so my tip or trick is to just have conversations with the kids that you have in your school or the patients that you have in your clinic or at the nursing home, because like so often you do get wrapped up in the goals and you realize that like, oh, when's the last time I had like a back and forth conversation? Like, do I know their favorite movie? Do I like know what their week has been like, or if they have any pets or brothers and sisters, or what their favorite color is, or anything like that. So I definitely think it's way more important than the goals to build rapport with the person that you're working with. So just make it a point to have a conversation with them at least monthly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. I like that. That's a good way to show that you're ongoingly like assessing them also like okay how are they doing and stuff but also like varying up your therapy too like oh
Right.
I didn't even know they like cats I got 10 million books about cats we
Right.
could do
Exactly.
so my tip or trick is very much inspired by this episode but also my day today and I think it's important to get your clients involved in the session and like what their opinion is. So like I've been doing a certain activity with a student and then I'm like, just he's not doing as well as I thought. And I'm like, hey, how do you feel about this game? Are you done with this game? And he's like, yeah, no more, you know? So
Right.
like, yeah, so like a lot of times you have to like ask them like, hey, are you sick of this game? Because sometimes the kid won't always tell you, like, I'm done, I'm bored of this game though, but they'll act out and that's a sign. So like
Right. Yeah.
really ask your kids if they're like done with the activities you're doing.
Right. Yeah. And just
Yeah.
like be ready to let it go, just like you should be ready to forgive. Like
Yeah, exactly.
just let go of that game.
So is that the quote you want to pick?
I actually picked the Walt Disney
Oh, you picked
quote,
another one? Okay.
and it's kind of fun to do the impossible.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
That's by Walt Disney, who was a very controversial guy himself. So
So it's only fitting.
it's on controversy, yeah.
Yeah, we're all about controversy today. But we will still take the free wine.
Please, we'll have whatever beliefs you'd like us to have.
Right. So, for the right price, for the right type of wine.
Got a number. These bills keep coming.
Yes, kidding.
Yeah.
So anyway, everyone, thank you for listening to us. We hope we didn't offend you with any of the things we said. We were just having conversations, honest and open conversations for the realistic SLP.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Maria.
I'm Deb.
And thank you for listening. Good night.
See ya.